one, I had no intentions of going this far.
Right.
That's first. Um, Two, when I kind of had that moment and I was like, okay, well, we're gonna really go for it now.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't about making a fantasy
Hmm.
because I felt like I was already a sexual person and a sexual being and recognized for that.
Hmm.
For me, it was more kind of like a invitation into my sexual world and my likes and my desires and like a snapshot into my sexual life. Um, versus me trying to sell a fantasy. And I still kind of hold on to that a little bit. Um, and I kind of feel like we're getting to a place where the content creators, and I'm so happy to see it, we're learning that we can offer lots of different things under the allure of what we do and still trigger fantasy,
Yeah.
still trigger fetish,
Yeah.
still trigger biological responses that warms your blood and makes you blush and things like that without it having to be full on adult entertainment. There
Yeah.
are ways to make it playful, fun, and we can still give you the other stuff too, but we can open up a wide variety and help also, like you kind of say, change the nature of what it looks like to the world and what the world is looking for. Opening it up to different possibilities and opportunities, not just for us, but for the people at home too, and what you choose to do when you're at home with who you're with. So we're headed in a good place.
You know, I love that you said that because, like I said, I billions of dollars, billions of dollars, billions of dollars. But I want to say this. I want to say this so that it goes on record. Social media changed the entertainment industry as far as not fashion, well, fashion too, but especially with music and acting. Social media changed the game for that because before, you could only get access through meetings in Hollywood, and you could only get access through very, very small channels to even find your way into Hollywood or into music or into things like that. OnlyFans changed the game when, as far as having to go to major studios and signing your whole life away and not really even being working. Like, I'm going to say this for the Black entrepreneur with OnlyFans. Oh, it revolutionized the game. Like, because we no longer had to be the token. We no longer had to be the token in the room. We could be like, all right, well, we're gonna market ourselves to our audience, and our audience gonna pay for us. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what people don't understand. Like, it's kind of crazy because people will say to me, like now, like from the beginning, I always was indie. I always knew I wanted to be indie because I was not selling my intellectual property, which I consider and I liken to selling my soul. That's the soul of who I am. What I write, what I create, what I say, that's the soul. But someone said to me recently, he was like, baby, I see why you didn't sign. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, because you got a record label right here in your hand. You got a whole record label right here.
Mm-hmm.
You got an entire record label right here. And it's the same thing with adult entertainment. See, people, you got to understand something. A lot of the bigger wigs, the studios, and even Hollywood, they put out subversive press to kind of discourage the people from going out on their own because they saw that they were going to lose money. They saw
Mm-hmm.
that they were going to lose talent. So they just fed the press like, oh, talk about this. Say that it's really bad. Say there's no security. Say folk are getting sick. Say this is going on. Say this is going on. And it's not true. It's not true. I have babies. One of my babies, Zaddy Corvinus. He, I was talking to him when I first talked to him for the first time. We had a real heart to heart. He told me about where he was from and his family and the church life and this is that and the other. And literally, he was moving from one condo to the next condo, higher up. And as the higher you go, the more expensive it is. And he was
Mm-hmm.
literally moving up. And he was talking to me in the midst of moving. And I'm like, what? And he was like, and he said to me, and what I loved about him is I love him. He's beautiful. He's beautiful. I don't care. I will fight anybody over that. That's arguable. I will fight. Listen, I will fight you over that. That's my baby. I love him. So, but he was speaking and he said, I'm not the most attractive guy in the world. I don't have the biggest dick in the world. He said, but for some reason, what I offered the public drew to. He spoke about how he was approached by the studios. And when he said, well, this is my price, they didn't want to pay his price. So he walked away. And, they tried to, kill his career. Oh, he's not this. Oh, he's not that. Oh, he's not that. But he kept going and he built it. I know another young man, Flash, his name is Dallas Wade. And he got kicked off of American Next Top Model because they found out he was doing things to support himself. But that baby, a couple of years ago, hit $1 million on OnlyFans. $1 million. Now you see him, and I love him. He wished me happy birthday, my last birthday in September. He wished me happy birthday from Istanbul.
Mm.
He was in a cafe in Istanbul and said, sorry, Queen, for the noise. I'm in Istanbul. We're moving through. This baby travels the world, investing his money where he sees fit. And I get so emotional about this because even for me, for years, going out on my own, not signing, not saying that I wasn't going to do it, it left me in some dire situations where I needed money, where I needed a place to stay, where things just was not looking good. And I'm so glad that my grandmother got a hold of me, because with her belief, her investments, her knowledge, the team of mentors she put together for me, I was able to wage a real career, wage a real war. And I wouldn't have been able to do that had I just succumbed to what everybody thought. Oh, like, listen, 18 years ago in Paris, they told me, you need to put on a wig. If you put on a wig, you will become a supermodel in 3 months here. All you have to do, you've got the body, you work out every day, you walk everywhere. Literally, if you put on this wig and go to the female castings, you will not have to look back. And it's so crazy to me because I let something stop me. Here I am, miles away in beautiful France, and I was worried about what my religious family would think. And I refused the wig. Only for 18 years later. And get this, it's not a regret. Oh, but I could have been further. Huh. Queen of Shade would have still came. See, people, oh, well, that's God's protection. No, that was my stupidity. That was me being bound to what other people cared about or thought. At 41, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what people think at all. Like,